Hello everyone, Trainmaster04 here again, and today I thought I would give a little update since the last time I saw y'all on the YouTube short area is when I was actually giving an introduction to the new On30 locomotive and passenger cars. Now since then, it has been about a day since I last made that video, and there's been a lot of action happening on the locomotive itself, so let's get straight into it. Now, I figured I'd have it right next to my Santa Fe 3000 since, in this case, it really gives a fairly nice comparison between how a standard gauge locomotive is compared to a narrow gauge one. But in this case, as you can see, the pilot I have painted in a red color, as well as giving it some red striping along the side, and also a few more highlighted details, such as a band around the headlight, a band on top of the smokestack, valves along the side of the boiler. There are a few similar valves on the other side. I was able to get some brown paint and be able to paint the running boards both on each side. They do have some simulated wood grain, so that really gave it some nice look to it. I also added a bell cord with that tan twine. In this case, I was able to drill a nice little hole into the cab and then feed it through into the cab. Now, speaking of the cab itself, I also highlighted a few areas such as the resting board, also as the awning for the fireman and engineer side. And unfortunately, the lighting is not the greatest right here, but I also had a copper rod and I was able to attach it to the end of the whistle through a pre-drilled hole into the cab to fill in the gap and make it look like it has an actual whistle cord. And then most of the action happened on the tender today. In this case, as you could see, I did go ahead and give the tender deck itself nice wood paneling, painted it a nice brown. And then the biggest thing that I've added is an actual air tank. Now, this air tank I was actually able to make out of a former chapstick I had. I just simply cut it down to size, painted it black, refixed the cap onto this end, and then most importantly, I added a paper clip, in this case, curved down going underneath into the frame of the locomotive, as seen in a lot of narrow gauge locomotives. Now, it could be just a little bit too big for the locomotive itself, but in this case, since it is narrow gauge, everything does look fairly big. Other highlights would be the toolbox deck lid has been painted in the red, and also all of the steps, the border lines for all of them have been painted as well. But that's pretty much it for right now with the On30 locomotive fleet, and hopefully I'll be able to update y'all soon later. Cheers!